So we're going to start with what SAP is. So SAP, actually the full form of SAP is Systems, Applications and Products in Data Processing. That is the full form of SAP, and we are going to discuss why do we use SAP and what are the modules SAP has and etc. So why SAP BI, etc. All these topics we are going to discuss. I'm trying to open this. So here, what is SAP? SAP is full form. Systems. This is the SAP's full form: Systems, Applications, and Products in Data Processing. So now we will discuss why SAP. So SAP is a centralized ERP. So ERP means Enterprise Resource Planning. So SAP is a centralized ERP and which helps your business run better. So why do we need centralized ERP? What is the difference between centralized ERP and the other systems? Here in centralized ERP, you will have everything centralized. For example, uh, okay, everything is centralized in centralized ERP. So here, if for example you have centralized SAP ERP system and you have other modules like sales and inventory, finance department, HR department, shop floor execution, vendors, production planning, all these modules will be centralized. It means you will be able to send and receive information from all these modules with the help of centralized system. So what is the advantages of having a centralized system? When you have a centralized system, you have, you will be able to check what's happening on the other side. For example, if you take any company, any big company nowadays, they have a centralized which is running on SAP. For example, Merck Pharmaceuticals is there. There is a pharmaceutical factory, so pharmaceuticals, and they run on SAP. So, for example, the CEO of Merck is in Canada, right, Toronto. So they might have their offices and they might have their businesses running in America, South America, in Europe, in Asia, etc., etc., everywhere, Australia, etc. So there are laboratories, there are manufacturing plants, etc. All these Salesforce, everything, vendors, everything is going on all over the world. It is distributed around the world. So how does it going to maintain its I mean business? It is with the help of centralized system which SAP provides. So I'm going to show you by drawing a diagram. Yeah, I got it now. This is oval. I want. Oh, we are not getting circles here. Okay, for example, we are going to talk about centralized system here. So you have a centralized system, all right. So in a company to run globally, it should have operations in all the, departments, right? So all those departments include sales, inventory, finance, HR department, shop floor. You will have vendors. For any company, you will have vendors, and you will have production. For any manufacturing company, you will see a production. I will send him a link. So here you have all these processes which makes ERP system, right? For example, you might have So here you have all these, in a company, you always have all these processes running because nowadays companies are huge and you won't be able to operate without the uh, system that you have now, like departments. So for this purpose, every company has this, at least SAP running company, because SAP running companies are the ones which, with a lot of potential. Generally, they are companies with a lot of revenue, etc. So at least more than $100 million or something like that. So that kind of companies will always run SAP. So here, for SAP is a centralized ERP. The use of being centralized is we have all these departments, and all these departments are feeding data into centralized system, which is SAP system. So here, SAP system is centralized, and all the data can be viewed by anyone across the system. Like either a sales guy wants to know about the shop floor execution, he could know that. And if a inventory guy manager wants to know about the shop floor, he could, or inventory manager wants to know about the production planning, he has to, he just have to view it in the computer. So all these, communication has made easy. For example, for as I said, Merck Pharmaceuticals is there, and if the company CEO is in Toronto, and then he has all the operations going on rest of the world. So what's going to happen if he doesn't have a centralized ERP? He doesn't know what's going on in India or in Asia or Australia. So how does anywhere, even in Toronto itself, how do he know what is going on in the shop floor and what is going on in the production and in the sales department, etc. He doesn't know. He don't have that much time for all this. So with the help of the higher level reports and the data, we are making him aware, and other people who are related to the company aware of what's going on in across the system. So this, if it doesn't work, like if he doesn't know what's going on, so how do he maintain the vendors, and how do someone maintain the production planning and inventory? For example, there is no inventory of a company. Say Merck Pharmaceuticals doesn't have a lot of inventory. What does it mean, empty shelves? And empty shelves are very expensive for the company, because if you have any, for example, if you have anyone, if you ask anyone in retail, in sales, if the most expensive thing is having empty shelves, having miscommunication. For example, you have got sales got pick up in certain month, and all the products are sold. They don't have any products to sell in that month, and then they come to then they realize that now we are going to produce more, and then the sales drop. After that, what will happen? The products will go to waste. So there is a loss. That is equal to loss, directly a loss. So in order to maintain it better, in order to maintain, I mean, um, information, and take the informed decisions, SAP ERP solutions are going to work. So that is why people have the centralized ERP system. So SAP is evolved over the lot of years. For example, it is evolved for SAP has started in 1972 in Germany, Mannheim. So five IBM employees have started SAP with a plan of having the business suit. So for that, they have rolled out the R1, and then R2 was rolled out, and R3 was rolled out, and like that we are going to see what it is, and I will share some document with you so that you can see that while I'm talking about it. So you must have got the document now. Let's see what according to the document. So here we have for every business we have different modules, right? Modules like SD, MM, PM, and HR, FI, CO. All these are the modules, and SAP offers all these modules, and SAP offers 22 industry specific solutions, which is called as IS. It means IS oil and IS utilities, IS banking, retail, automobiles, like that. These are industry specific solutions SAP offers. So on. So plus what SAP offers? SAP offers new dimensional products like BI. All these are new dimensional products. Plus, SAP offers 22 solutions which are called as IS. So all these solutions like so on. So there are different industries like retail and banking, etc., etc. So all these SAP offers industry-specific solutions for each and every business based on their requirement, and it offers I mean, new dimensional solutions like BI, APO, CRM, etc. SAP offers different modules for a organization like sales and distribution, material management, project management, HR, human resources, FI, finance, CO, controlling, etc. So all these modules are, I mean, together we have enterprise, enterprise resource planning. Even in SAP ECC 6.0, we have all these modules. So in enterprise components, we have all these modules. So that is the SAP centralized ERP is. And now you have, for example, a sales is there. A company has to maintain a sales cycle. SAP software is evolved over the decades, like since 1972, and it is constantly adding solutions, more functionalities to the software so that it can make it easy to, I mean, for the businesses to run. So all these business processes are, SAP is offering are called modules. So those modules are SD. So we are going to discuss what is a sales order. So in a sales order cycle, right? What do we have? What happens in sales order cycle? You will have a quotation. Generally we are everyone is a part of sales order cycle, right? You must have bought some laptop or something, or shirt recently or anything. Everything has this process. This is a sales order cycle. So it is a part of, it is the life cycle, it is a cycle of sales. So you will have a quotation, and then you will have a sales order, and then you will have a delivery, and then you will have an invoice, billing or invoice. So this is the cycle we have in a sales order. And then you will have a billing or invoice, right? This is sales order cycle. Similarly, you have a production planning for a company, right? So what is a production order cycle? raw materials, semi-finished goods, and finished goods. This is the production order cycle. So this is the production order cycle. In production order, what will happen? Raw materials is the input, and finished goods is the output. So just like that, all these processes. So all these processes are maintained by SAP. SAP is a business suite. You can say ECC is a business suite as well. So ECC particularly, because SAP is a company. So ECC is a business suite where we get daily transactions. For example, you have a mainframes computer, and you have all the which are the point of sales. When you must have walked into any retail shop. In those retail shop, you must have seen the computers they are using. They are very basic computers running on DOS prompt, and you when you do the billing, they just do some and they have a basic form, and then they will enter some information and you will get a bill. So that computer is a point of sales, which is a computer, uh, mainframe computer. So I mean, when you go to the bank machine, when you go for the ATM machine, there you will withdraw bank, I mean amount, etc. You must have operated that ATM machine. And you would see that ATM machine is based on very old software and on DOS prompt, etc. So that point of sales, that machine, that computer is a mainframes computer. So you have mainframes computers which are point of sales, and then you have a server where all the information data is stored. So all the data is coming to the server through mainframes computers, and SAP, it is posted into the SAP business suite. So here all the, I mean, here you will have different modules like this, and all the data will go to the module specific. So in different modules. For example, SAP has set up a lot of, as per company only have to set their, few technical things, like we are following some tax code of India or something like that, and then there will be, according to the data, there will be automatic posting of few things, and few of them we need to post manually. So like that the system runs, right? So for that purpose, for maintaining all these flows, life cycle, we use SAP Business Suite. So it is making businesses run very easily. And you must have heard the big data everywhere nowadays. Big data is the boom nowadays, and because of the big data concept, we have a lot of data in the world, and for example, in coming years, we might get some for 7.2 zettabytes of data. We will have 7.2. So we are not prepared for that. We have and generally the basis for the SAP BI is reporting, right? So here we got all the data. We have seen what the ECC is, and this is the transactional processing. ECC is a transaction system where all the transactions happens and detailed data is there. So it is not suitable for reporting. So SAP has come up with the solution reporting tool. So SAP had before was until 1972. SAP has started in 1972, and then after that we have the company SAP GmbH was started at Mannheim, Germany, as we discussed. So by the time 1988, SAP has become SAP AG, and it is still in Mannheim. And in 90s, SAP has started R3, which is a client server architecture. It means you will have a database, you will have an application, and you will have a user interface. So, for example, you will have a database and the application layer between, which will act as a communication between user interface and the database. So it will run on ABAP. Application server runs on ABAP. In 2004, NetWeaver 2004, there are two types of application servers based on ABAP and based on Java. So that is the recent one I'm talking about. And this three layer, three tier architecture is introduced in 1990s. So now since then it has become an industry standard now. In 21st century, SAP has launched enterprise portal and role-based access to business information. So evaluation of BW. For why do we want BW? We discussed about the. Uh, we discussed until now. We discussed about ECC. Now we will discuss about BW. We have discussed why ECC. What is ECC? We will discuss why BW. So BW is a reporting tool launched by SAP because there was a huge need of reporting. After the transaction system, we have flows with a lot of data. There is a requirement for reporting for the historical perspective. In order to cleanse the data, transform the data, and structure the data, keep the data in a structured manner, and then to harness the data, you need some reporting tool to do that, to get that historical data. Because if you run a report, a multi-dimensional report in ECC, a multi-dimensional report, first of all, in ECC is not possible. And if you run a multi-dimensional report in ECC, then I mean, there will be a possibility of system crash because there is a huge data in ECC, and you cannot run reports on historical perspective. You can run reports on point queries, like what is a certain person's salary, what is his salary, and what is his age at a given point. That is why you will see, you have mainframe computers like ATM machines, etc. You might even go for get a statement there in the mainframe computers itself, which is the OLTP computers. So those transactional computers they are able to answer the point queries like what is my, but they are not able to answer the questions like or 6 months. Why? Because they are not historical, they are not OLAP systems, they are OLTP systems. And for example, I mean, they are mainframe computers, so they can't get that historical perspective of data. They'll get current data and they can report on current data. So this is these questions, such questions are answered by OLAP systems, data warehouses. So for that reason, SAP has come up with the solution. In 1992 itself, SAP has developed a version of BW, but it was not right. So it has developed. I mean, it keep developing, and then they got success in 1997. In 1997, the first version of SAP product for reporting, analysis, and data warehousing was launched, and the product was termed as Business Information Warehouse. At that time, it is termed as BIW, not the BW. So 1.2 version is launched in 1998, which is the first practical version, which has some customers. Right after that, SAP keep launching the different versions like 1.2b, so on, and in October 2001, SAP launched 3.0 version of BW. Name changed from BIW to BW. BIW is Business Information Warehouse. Name changed. It's just the name and some functionalities changed. So 2001 has seen BW Business Warehouse 3.0 version. And by 2004 April, we have the version 3.5 BW. So this version is launched in 2004 April, and it is a business warehouse, and it still is a standard version. We still use business warehouse in companies. And in 2005 July, name changed from BW to BI. BI means business intelligence, and in 2005 July, SAP has launched BI 7.0. And after that, SAP also launched 7.3 version in 2010. So we have the 7.3 version running now. And there are, we still use 3.5 version, we still use 7.0 version and 7.3 version. There are few, I mean, there are a lot of changes from 3.05 to 7.0 based on the visualization, etc. But the basic concept is the same. And there are very few changes between 7.0 and 7.3, which we will be discussing in the course. So, SAP BI 7.0 is a part of NetWeaver 2004S. So it is a part of NetWeaver 2004S. Whereas whereas so there is a difference. So in 2000 SAP in after 2000 SAP has given the portal based solution which is called NetWeaver. sorry. So it has different versions in given launched by different NetWeaver versions. So that is the main purpose of SAP BI. In SAP BI, we are able to do the reporting, and historical perspective of the data is done in the SAP BI. So, for example, what is the future of SAP BI? You can see there, 7.2 zettabytes of data will be created in next coming years. So how do you harvest that kind of data, that kind of huge data? Because it is a very big challenge, and it needs a very efficient reporting tool. We still have SAP BI 7.0, SAP BO is there, SAP HANA based BI is there. So HANA, what is HANA? You will see, you might have heard a lot about HANA. So HANA, before HANA, SAP was running on Oracle database. Now SAP has created its own database, which is HANA. And HANA is an appliance. It means it is a in-memory computing. It means you have a RAM which is very huge. For example, for a HANA, you need 8 TB of RAM. So in that with that kind of RAM, you have you have a lot of efficiency. So the what it will do, it will hold all the data in RAM, and computing will be done with the it, with the data in this in RAM memory. So it is called in memory computing. So as BI 7.3 is HANA enabled. It is very fast. HANA software companies haven't implemented it yet. It has launched, SAP has launched HANA in 2012 itself. So all these efforts are for this preparation for this data. In coming years, we will have such kind of data. This is a huge figure. It's not, for example, it's not TBs. You will have like 1024 TBs equal to 1 petabyte. Hira. And you will have 1024 terabytes equals to 1 exabyte, right? And you will have 1024 exabytes equals to 1 zettabyte. So no one has seen such a huge amount of data and such huge amount of memories yet. But now in 2000s, there are a lot of implementations. For example, up to the 2000, for example, there is a TB of data, right? So then up to 2000, for the last 2 years or last 5 years, we might have some 4 or 5 TVs of data. All the historical data is at one place. The data that is getting created with the help of social medias and with the help of all that customers and the cross applications we have in 2000, after 2000 era, internet era, is on the other side. So there is a huge amount of data nowadays, and to come across that problem and to in to be able to harness such kind of data, we are, I mean, in a huge deficiency. So for that purpose, there is a lot of uh, um, I mean, market for data, big data concept for the reporting tools for SAP BI as well, because SAP BI is a reporting tool. So there are other. This can be the question. So a lot of people might ask me, like, there Microsoft is creating, has a BI, etc. Hyperion system is there, and IBM has a data warehousing solution. Everyone has data warehousing solution. Why should we go for SAP BI? The answers, I mean, is not one. There are three, four answers. For example, uh, SAP has become industry standard nowadays. Even sports companies like NBA and Under Armour and McLaren, etc., etc. A lot of companies are implementing SAP. You can see the reporting of SAP is, I mean, it is compatible to the McLaren. For example, this is a F1 races company, right? What is it doing here in reporting with SAP? It is a business solution. The SAP is compatible to everything. So McLaren's car has some points to report, some 240 to 300 points. So for those points, as a McLaren has implemented SAP. So they need a fraction of second, right? They need as real time as milliseconds. So all those millisecond fraction of seconds data can be SAP reporting tools. So why SAP BI? It is easy to report in SAP BI because SAP ECC has business content which is available, which is already implemented in SAP BI. So it is a part of landscape. And SAP BI is a foundation for other SAP reporting tools. For BO and even in future reporting tools, SAP BI is the foundation. So for these reasons, you need to learn SAP BI as a reporting tool. So do you have any questions? Ibtisam, are you there?